USFCougars.com with the number 4 ranked University of Sioux Falls football team head coach Jed Stugart following the conference outright clinching win over Wayne State. It was 30-7 here at Bob Young Field. Jed, it had to feel pretty good when those final ticks were going off. Perfect season, the regular season. That's the 12th time in school history, second time when you've been head coach. But what does it mean for this year and this team?
Well, I think ever since the winter workouts and spring football, I knew this. You just had a feeling this team could be pretty special. There's a lot of people to thank. I mean, I look at number one. There's a lot of expectations. I give a lot of credit to Coach Havorka and his offensive staff, managing a really great offense. With every week, there's going to be people coming in, targets on their back. They made a goal to run the ball better this year and make that a point of emphasis, and they did it. And they put the work in and guided this team to a really good balanced attack. And I'm really proud just because of how great they did in the running game this year. And then you look at our defense, you know, and Tremaine Jackson and his staff, a team that you know, 7 guys we had to replace, and a lot of people had question marks about this defense. And what those coaches did to put that defense together to run the table in this conference is a big feat. I don't know if people and our kids and coaches, I don't know if it's all hit us really how tough that is to do in this league. And so we're going to enjoy this one for a little while, and until we find out what the next one. So I'm just proud of this team. I'm proud of these coaches and the love they have for each other.
You know, I thought it was interesting. I was talking to your all-league center just before this interview, Trevor Westcott, and he talked about how deep the league was, but it's all year long. You've been every locker room before the game. You talk about respect your opponent, you pray for each other to be healthy at the end, but and now you have 10 of your 11 wins by double digits this year. Does that healthy respect for your opponent really translate into your success?
Yeah, I think they're experienced enough to know now how tough these opponents are, and that you can't take one quarter off, because everybody's got enough that can hurt you. And so they're focused. You know, one thing they've really bought into is the importance of practice, and how they've really bought into Tuesday, Wednesday practices and how important that is. Where sometimes, maybe in the past when we've had a little bit more not as mature football teams, that might take that for granted and get in a game and realize, man, you got to fight and scratch out of it. This is a team that didn't want to have to do that. You know, they want to respect their opponent. They want to get on people and not really look at records, and that's what really says a lot about these guys. Is they play for they bring what they do to the game and not really play to the opponent and to the record. And so it's the signs of a mature football team.
Just a couple of things quickly. We can't go without talking about a guy that has dedicated his time here 4 years and not gotten to play a lot, but today stepped in as one of your 26 seniors that are going out on the regular season, Corbin Lawler. Talk about what his contribution means and what you think of him personally.
Well, what I think of him is I love the kid. And when he's done playing football, he's going to coach for me. We've already planned that because of what he brings to the table from an intellectual standpoint. But you know what I love about Corbin is his sacrifice. There's sometimes a blessing in that. You know, obviously we're glad Luke's not hurt real seriously. But when you trust a kid like Corbin, there's no need to bring Luke in. And this team trusts him, the defense trusts him, we trust him. But, you know, I just think about, you know, 2 or 3 years ago when, you know, this is a kid that could go play in a lot of places, and maybe even if he entertained the thought, there was something special about this team that he loved and that he committed to, knowing that every week in and every year he might have to fight and he may not get the starting spot. And, you know, you don't see stories like that very much. It's a kind of, we're getting to a selfish society in sports these days, and to have a guy like Corbin and then be mentally ready, and he takes. We see him every day in practice. Our defense goes against Corbin every day in practice, and that's why our defense is good, because you're facing a kid that can start at any team in this league. So I can't say enough about Corbin.
So 26 seniors, so we're going to finish up on this. 26 seniors are going to be among the group that gather at a playoff at Z Hall tomorrow. It starts at 3. The NCAA playoff field goes at 4. Why should Cougar fans want to come out and be part of what we are
Well,
doing
come out
tomorrow?
to Z Hall, see the selection show, kind of get an idea who we're playing. I love to be around our fans. It'll be really exciting, and this is a special moment in our program's history again. And that's always a fun time to see just kind of where you're at on that national televised picture on that television screen. To see your name pop up is a pretty special moment.
Coach, one final thing. I said one final bit before, but conference champions, how does that ring with you?
Well, I just can't get it in my head, man. It's special. I mean, people don't realize how tough this is to go undefeated and win a championship in this league. And I'm just proud of my coaches. I'm proud of my team. They're an incredible bunch of kids.